All right. Good evening. Welcome to the City of Tempe Housing Authority special meeting for July 27th, 2017, here in the Harry E. Mitchell Government Center. This is a public hearing. The first item on the agenda is the call to the audience. Is there anyone in the audience? You have up to 3 minutes to discuss any of the items listed on the City of Tempe Housing Authority special meeting. Could you please get my attention? Seeing none, I'll close that portion, the call to the audience. Next is item number 2. First, I'd like to recognize Jack Drummond. He is participating with us here at the dais. He is a resident of Tempe, and he's also a member of the Housing Authority Board. Jack, thank you for coming. We have so many of these meetings, but thank you. The next item is to approve the City of Tempe Housing Authority meeting minutes for March 16, 2017. Is there a motion to approve those meeting minutes? It's been moved by Councilman Shapiro, seconded by Vice Mayor Arredondo Savage. Please vote, or can we?
You'd like to vote?
Please vote.
Okay.
Mr. Drummond, do you vote yay or nay? All right. That motion carries 6-0 with Board Member Kuby absent.
Mayor, for clarification, that's 7-0.
I'm sorry, 7.
Thank you.
Actually, 6. No, it's 6-0. Oh, 7. 7-0.
The Resident Advisory Board.
Oh. Gotcha. Thank you, Jack.
Thank you.
The next item is provide the City of Tempe Housing Authority Governing Board with an update to the program's current events, our financials, programs, performance, and policy as of the first 2 calendar quarters of 2017. I know we're going to call Naomi if you're there. I know Paul's here, and then Levon. Miami, please come forward for an update. Actually, Levon's going to do it.
Good evening, City of Tempe Housing Authority Governing Board. My name's Levon Lamy. I'm the Housing and Revitalization Manager. The purpose of tonight's meeting is to review the activities of the Housing Authority through the second quarter of the calendar year 2017 and to provide a review of the annual PHA plan. Just as a little bit of background information, the Tempe Housing Authority administers both the HCV Housing Choice Voucher Program, which consists of 1,052 units, and the Family Self-Sufficiency or FSS program. Additionally, the Housing Authority has committed 15 project-based vouchers to the Valor on 8th Veterans Project. The HCV and FSS program budgets total approximately $9 million per year in housing subsidies. These subsidies are paid directly to private landlords on behalf of program participants. The participant income limitation for admission to, oh, yes, sir.
Councilman Kuby, is that you?
Yes, it is. I'm putting it on mute.
Okay, thank you.
The participant income limitation for admission to the HCV program is 50% of the area median income, or $33,100 for a family of 4. Additionally, every year, HUD requires an annual PHA plan, or Public Housing Authority plan, that be submitted detailing the progress of the prior year and the plan for the upcoming year in relation to the 5-year plan. The current 5-year plan covers fiscal years 2015 through 2019, and this year's update is the second for this 5-year plan. As an update for current events, first, in partnership with the local Department of Housing and Urban Development, or HUD Field Office, staff is working towards completion of all items on the Corrective Action Plan issued March 6, 2017. As of June 30th, 2017, all corrective action items have been approved and are pending final review. Our field office representative will be conducting a preliminary site visit on August 3rd. She will be returning in September of 2017 for the final confirmatory review. It is expected that all corrective action items will be approved and closed at that time. Currently, staff has completed the preparatory work for the development and implementation of 2 new housing programs that will be administered through the Housing Services Division. The first is a tenant-based rental assistance program, or a home TBRA program. This is funded with home dollars. The program provides short-term housing assistance to prevent homelessness. The target populations are victims of domestic violence, stalking, and any other qualifying event under the Violence Against Women Act. The second target population is homeless individuals. A self-sufficiency component has been added into this program to ensure that as much as possible, at the end of the 2-year assistance period, the family will either be self-sufficient or have transitioned to a permanent supportive housing structure. The second housing program being developed is the Bridges to Permanency program. This program is funded through Mercy Maricopa, the Regional Behavioral Health Authority. This program is designed to provide housing services to individuals with severe mental illness. Through collaborative efforts between the behavioral health caseworker and the housing specialist, participants will secure permanently assisted housing while receiving any required supportive services to successfully maintain their housing. Resolutions for both of those are being presented for approval during tonight's council meeting and the Housing Authority Governing Board meeting. Additionally, staff is currently evaluating options that would leverage the Housing Choice Voucher, CDBG, and home programs to either acquire, develop, or rehabilitate existing structures to provide more affordable housing options for the residents of Tempe. Part of this evaluation process includes researching housing options in which the Tempe Housing Authority would purchase properties with CDBG funds, develop permanently affordable rental housing, and it would be permanently controlled by the Housing Authority. Additionally, staff is working towards the conceptual outline of either a joint venture and or a wholly owned subsidiary of the Housing Authority in order to develop or redevelop affordable housing in Tempe. More information on these initiatives will be provided in the near future. As a financial update, as of June 29th, 2017, the Housing Authority received the notification letter for calendar year 2017 final funding authority from HUD for our housing assistance payments, or the rental assistance payments for the participants. The Housing Authority has a budget authority of $8,353,562. Due to a proration factor of 97%, our prorated eligibility is $8,102,955 for the calendar year. Or the way the proration works, we would get 97 cents on the dollar for our total budget authority. It is currently expected for the calendar year 2018 that funding will be prorated for housing assistance payments between 90 and 95%. And the proration for administrative fees is currently expected to be between 67 and 80%. Staff will continue to work closely with the field office, monitor program progress in order to maximize the utilization of HAP funding and leasing. Currently, the administrative fees for calendar year 2017 have been prorated to 76% of eligibility. As a program update, over the last several months, staff has been working towards the goal of maximizing voucher utilization while remaining cognizant of budgetary limitations associated with the program's growth. As of June 1st, 2017, housing assistance payments have been scheduled for 931 families, or approximately 2,431 individuals. This is an increase of 91 families, or approximately 243 individuals, since September of 2016. The Housing Authority's December expectation is to have an overall utilization of 87% of our 1,052 vouchers. This would be roughly an increase of 16% year over year. As part of the city's strategic management process, one of the Housing Authority's performance measures is to utilize 100% of the Housing Authority's subsidized housing funds. Expenditure of these funds directly relates to the number of families that the Housing Authority is able to service on an annual year, and we expect to fully expend our funding allocation for this calendar year. Additionally, for the annual PHA plan being submitted this year, we're incorporating and discussing the following significant changes. The first being the recurring $190,000 administrative supplemental support received from the general fund. The second is the application of rent determinations and payment standards that allow for reasonable accommodations up to 120% of the fair market rents. These changes are due to the implementation of the Housing Opportunities Through Modernization Act, or HOPMA. We are also confirming the allocation of 15 project-based vouchers for the Valor on 8th project. And lastly, we're presenting the Housing Authority's Corrective Action Plan that addresses HUD's audit findings for the calendar year 2015 audit that put the Housing Authority in troubled status. In conclusion, as the Housing Authority is making great strides. With the support of the Housing Authority Governing Board and HUD, staff is addressing HUD's audit findings through policy changes, progress updates, staff trainings, and accountability. As this is the first quarterly meeting of this type, we're open to any feedback or comments and suggestions towards ensuring that the Housing Authority Governing Board has the information it needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Levon. Is any other questions for Levon from the board? Yes,
I have a question.
Councilmember Cubie?
Yes, I had a question about the units and what percentage roughly are within Tempe. I know that a client can take a voucher and try and find the housing wherever they can in the valley, but do we have any figures about that, or can we get there in the future about how many units are actually in Tempe?
Currently, all but 26 units are within the city limits of Tempe.
Out of how many?
Oh, excellent. Thank you so much.
Out of how many? 900?
The 936 currently leased.
Less than 1%. Okay. Vice Mayor Adana Savage?
Thank you, Levon. I really appreciate the information. I thought it was a really good presentation to have. And I guess one of my questions is, we're talking about initiatives for the future years, and there's one thing that I know you and I maybe had a little bit of a conversation on, and that's VASH vouchers. In the future, is that something that's on our radar or going to stay on our radar? And what does that look like for Tempe? And if people don't know what that is, it's like the Veterans Affairs. So it's like veterans vouchers.
We're looking at applying for the VASH vouchers in the current fiscal year. With the implementation of the Bridges and the TBRA program, we decided to get those moving first because the veterans vouchers were going to take much longer and be a larger project to get underway.
Perfect. Exactly what I wanted to hear.
Any other questions? Thank you. All right, the next item is to hold a public hearing to obtain a citizen's comment pursuant to the federal law to adopt a resolution approving the submission of the City of Tempe Housing Authority's annual public housing agency plan for the fiscal year 2018, which we just saw. Is there anyone in the audience wishing to address us under this item? Could you please get my attention? Seeing none, I'll close that portion. Is there any comments or discussions from the Housing Authority? Seeing none. Is there a motion to adopt a resolution number THA R 2017.03? Wait, Mr. Drummond? It's been moved by Mr. Authority Member Mr. Drummond. Is there a second? Second. Second by Councilmember Keating. Please, all those in favor, please vote. Aye. And you can say aye. Councilmember.
Aye. Aye.
Mr. Thurman? That motion carries. Mr. Drummond, you good? Aye. That motion carries 8-0. With that, we are adjourned. Thank you, Jack. Thank you so much.